Hey everyone, this is Steve Weintraub with Collider, and we are here in Toronto at our media studio. I want to give a huge thank you to Campari for being our sponsor and allowing us to cover small movies, huge movies, and films like Good Fortune. How are you doing, sir?
I'm great. Now let's give people some context, because it's like 7:30 in the morning. The movie premiered yesterday night at like 9:30, and so, you know, we all like went out for a drink afterwards, and I think I went to bed at like 2 in the morning. And I love Campari, but at this moment, it's a bit with the light and the Campari at 7:30. It's a bit much.
I'm not going to lie to you. I will not be drinking anytime soon. But actually, being serious, your premiere was last night, and I know Keanu flew up from New York. He's getting ready to do that play.
Yeah.
So what is it like having a premiere at the Toronto Film Festival when your stars are Keanu Reeves and Seth Rogen and Keke Palmer? Like, it's a murderer's row of talent.
Yeah, I really lucked up with this cast, and you know, Keanu came down. He's working on a play that he's doing Waiting for Godot with Alex Winter, and yesterday was his day off, and he came down and to support the movie, and I was really appreciative of it. And to be here at TIFF, it's great, because I love film festivals. To me, a film festival is about celebrating the theatrical experience, and wow, last night I was given the greatest gift to screen the movie in front of a, you know, not even like a normal 300-seat theater. It was like, you know, I don't know, 2,000 people or something. It was like what I do a stand-up show, and to screen the movie like that, I couldn't believe it, you know.
Wait, you do stand-up?
I do.
Fucking. Anyway, so I want to go backwards before we're getting into your film, and
Sure.
I really want to say congrats on the film, and I have a lot to talk about.
Sure.
But years ago, I went to when Judd was filming Funny People, I went to this taping where they were filming in LA, and you did Randy.
Oh,
And on stage, and I laughed my ass off.
Aw.
And I just want to ask you, like, what do you remember? Because that's early, like much earlier in your career.
Yeah.
And like that was a huge night of like Adam Sandler and all these different people doing stand-up, but you killed it that night.
Oh, thanks. That was a fun night. That would have been what, like 15 years ago, maybe. Yeah.
2000. Yeah, it's between 2010 plus, give or take a year.
Yeah.
Something like that.
No, I mean, it was. It's one of those things when you're that young, you don't realize how insane certain things are. You know, like I was just in a scene with that. You know, I was filming the movie and doing scenes with Adam Sandler, and you know, I think as I get older, it kind of hits me in a different way. Like, you know, being next to Keanu, it's still like, wow, that's pretty crazy. But when I was younger, I think you're just so, I don't know. There's the bravado of youth, I guess. But yeah, that was a great experience to do that movie with Judd and, you know, Seth and Sandler, and yeah.
My only other thing I wanted to bring up with you is I am a huge fan of Parks and Rec.
Oh, thank you.
The show is just effing awesome.
Oh, thank you.
How often do people come up to you? Are people still coming up to you to talk about it? Is it still as popular as ever?
Oh yeah, probably more so, because it's found this second life on streaming, and there's younger generations that are discovering the show, and there's not many of these shows anymore where they make, you know, 100 episodes. It's kind of a model that you don't see as much anymore. So yeah, and I love that cast so much. We all still keep in touch, and I see random cast members here and there, and it's always a treat.
Jumping into your film.
Tell me.
You are taking on like a really important subject right now with so many people. I know a lot of people who do the gig economy, and the disparity between the haves and have-nots is epic. So talk a little bit about where the idea came from and how you decided to, you know, to take on this subject.
Well, as you said, this issue is kind of all around us, and you know, when you look at films, older films from, you know, 30s and 40s, Preston Sturges films or Ernest Lubitsch, they would tackle these issues of wealth inequality and class, and it was done through comedy, and it felt like a good time to do that kind of movie with today's context, and that was the goal, and I hope we pulled it off.
So there's going to be people who have seen the trailer, but there's going to be a bunch of people watching who have not. How have you been describing, I hate doing this, but how have you been describing the film to friends and family?
I play a guy who's living in LA, struggling, lost my job, sleeping in my car. Keanu Reeves plays my guardian angel, but he's kind of an idiot.
You're not wrong with what you just
And
said.
Seth Rogen's in it, and Keke.
Right. Yeah, completely. So one of the things, stories can often change a lot during the development.
Yeah.
From when you started writing to what
Yes.
people see on screen, like, were there any radical changes? Like, how did you sort of figure out the structure and, the story?
Well, one thing is, once you have your cast, things kind of really evolve. The angel character that Keanu plays, Gabriel, once I knew that was Keanu, we spent a lot of time rehearsing, and I really kind of figured out who this character was. And so you just come up with scenes because you're just inspired by the work that you're doing and the work your actor's giving you. So once Keanu really dialed in, I just started having a bunch of ideas because, when he gets fired, Keanu gets fired as an angel, and he's sentenced to become a human. You just have this fun game of like, oh, this guy's never done anything. Like, he's never used the internet. What's that like? What's it like when Gabriel eats a burger? All these things. And so it just became like a really fun comedy writing task. And so that's one thing. And then the story, the script constantly evolves. I rewrite until the very last minute. I'm always trying to beat what we have on the page, and Seth is such a great collaborator and is someone that's made so many films and really understands screenwriting and story, and he always had useful advice, and I hope everyone enjoys what we landed on.
Well, the stuff with you and Seth is fantastic, but Keanu is also, like, he's just so good.
Yeah.
And like his delivery as Gabriel, was that him coming up with that sort of the tone and the way he was speaking? How much is that a collaboration?
Well, Keanu is very generous and gives me a lot of credit. But I will say, one of the first scenes we filmed was when he eats food for the first time. And that's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. And he was kind of already nailing it, if you ask me. But, we had to take a pause. And when we came back after the writer's strike, we had some time to rehearse, and we spent a little more time together. And I talked to him about Bill and Ted and Todd from Parenthood. Todd from Parenthood, before I met Keanu, I rewatched Bill and Ted and Parenthood. And, in those two performances, I kind of saw, like, he could really knock Gabriel out of the park. He's very funny playing this kind of innocence and naivete, this kind of, childlike sense of wonder. And it just, the role, like, once I knew it was him, I just dialed it in even more to play into what he was doing, as I said earlier.
There are some scenes of the three of you, and what is it like, or what was it like, I should say, when you're sharing scenes with Keanu and Seth, especially Keanu, because we all love Keanu.
Yeah.
But, like, the three of you together are so fun, and it's like, it's just awesome to watch. You know what I mean? So what were those scenes like, and what is it like being the director of, of, like, talent like that?
Well, Seth, I've known for a long time, since the days of Funny People and all that stuff. So, I'm pretty comfortable around him. We've been friends for a long time. Keanu, I grew up watching him, so it's a pretty surreal thing. But Keanu just really, for as iconic as he is, he's such a sweet, humble guy, and really just is dedicated to the craft and just wanted to do a good job and wanted to give me what I needed as a director from him, and he came through.
So I love talking about editing because it's where it all comes together.
Oh, yeah.
So talk a little bit about, you get in the editing room, and are you immediately ready to jump out the window, or are you like, oh no, I got this?
Well, one thing I like to do is, our editor, Daniel Hayworth, we've known each other for a long time. He was an editor on Master of None, and I was excited to work with him again. And what I like to do is I like to edit while we're shooting. So anytime we have a break shooting, or if I have a lunch break, I just jump into a room with Daniel, who, when we were filming in that house that Jeff lives in, we had him in a room there, or if we were filming on location, there'd be a little van, and I'd just run in and work with Daniel. So we could kind of find the movie as we were going, and it kind of informed things, whether it is the cinematography or the writing or performance. You're kind of understanding the tone of this thing you're making, and by the time you get to that that first rough cut, which, I think you're referring to this jump out the window thing that everybody talks about. That is calmed down. That's kind of, brought down a bit because you've been working on it so much already. And it also is fun because you like have scenes that you're excited about. You can show other people, hey, look at this. And then everybody kind of understands, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. So I found that process to be really useful.
Who did you trust for honest feedback on an early cut, and how did that, the people you showed it to, how did that impact the finished film?
I reached out to Steven Soderbergh, who
he's not a bad name to drop.
Yeah, he's famous for watching cuts, and Carmen Cuba, our casting director, worked with Steven. And I said, hey, you think Steven would ever want to watch this? And she's like, yeah, he loves doing that. Let me message him. And he doesn't know me. And he was like, yes, right away. Yeah, sure. And I said it to him, and it was the coolest.
Did he have any feedback that actually got incorporated in the film?
He just wrote me a super nice text. He said, I think you're done, my man. Who's complaining about this? And he mentioned Lubitsch, and I was like, whoa, this is awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that was great to hear, yeah.
So this is going to be, I meant to ask this towards the beginning of the film, but do you think the American dream might be dead?
Well, Arj thinks it's dead, and there's definitely a frustration that a lot of people have, and I think the movie's trying to tap into that.
Yeah, my thing is that I think it really is amazing how many people don't the importance of tipping, the importance of being nice. There's so many people, I think, that have just lost track of, just because, you know what I'm talking about with the gig economy.
Yeah, I mean, for this movie, I went with a guy that did DoorDash and did like a ride along, and I've used those services, and obviously you think you have an idea of the annoying stuff, but it is different to actually ride with the people and kind of understand what a slog it can be. And Seth and I both were like, oh man, we're definitely tipping these guys harder. I mean, we were taking care of them before. We weren't like cheapskates before, but now it's like you have a different perspective. And I think about that now with all these services I use.
In the movie, you dance, and you have to do a real dance number. What is it like preparing for a dance number like that? It's, by the way, we should be clear, it's not like some epic, crazy dance, but it is some real dance moves.
Oh, thanks. That is all credit and praise due to our choreographer, Michael Arnold, who's incredible. And he did some of the dancing stuff in Wolf of Wall Street, and I think he'd worked with Joaquin Phoenix, and he's amazing. But he was such a fun, and he's in the movie too. He's the guy that's showing Seth's character his dance routine in one of the early scenes. So he plays himself.
I want to touch on that. I believe you're going on tour again later this year, next month. Yeah,
after I finish talking to people about Good Fortune, I'm going back on the road.
Did you already have do you already have this, the I don't know what the right term is, the set? Yeah,
I was touring earlier this year, and I took a break to kind of do the work for Good Fortune, and then I'm going to go back on the road, and I love it. I mean, it's so fun. It's fun to be out there and to have the, I love movies, but it's a long time. Like, I'm sitting here talking to you about Good Fortune. I've got like 2 other scripts that I've written. Like, I was writing something the other day that I'm so excited about, but it'll probably be at least like 2 years before an audience sees someone say that joke and I get to hear a response, Whereas stand-up, I could write down something in my notebook today and go out tonight and it's so immediate, They're both very fun for different reasons, but it's nice. I like having both things in my life.
What can you tease about what you've written?
One of them is the sci-fi idea that I just finished and I'm very excited about. So, hopefully I get to make them. I'm hoping Good Fortune does well, and I'm prepping that other one, and hopefully it'll go well. I
definitely would like it to do well, and so you can make more.
Thank you.
We're almost out of time, but I want to say that. So we've been doing something called Get to Know Your TIFF Attendee. Mm-hmm. These are very harmless questions, I promise.
Okay.
If you can indulge me for just 2 minutes.
Okay.
What do you love to cook?
Oh, this is great. I love talking about cooking. I love cooking Indian food. I during the pandemic, I really tried to step up my game cooking Indian food. So I tried to learn all my mom's recipes, and I'm just chasing after my mom.
What do you consider the best thing you can cook?
Me personally?
Yeah, like what's the food that you're like, people are like, oh, you nail that?
I mean, I can do I did a good spread the other day for some friends. I did like a chicken curry, a beef fry. My family's from the the southern tip of India, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, so that region. So yeah, that style of food is my favorite to cook and to eat, which is convenient.
I was gonna say, what is the favorite food?
I mean, I love Indian food.
So you're all in.
Yeah, I'm fully in. Every answer to every question is Indian food. It's like, all right, I get it, Aziz.
What is the last TV show, movie, or book that you've read that you really want to recommend?
Oh, have you ever read The Magus?
No.
It was adapted into a movie that I haven't seen that people say it didn't turn out well, but that book is wild. It's a big one, though. It's a big commitment. It's like 700 pages. It's like one of the longer books I've read. So, you really got to trust my rec. That was great. I read that over the summer.
Favorite Stanley Kubrick film? I don't know if I'm wearing a shirt that gives it away.
Whoa. Well, I feel like everyone says 2001, which I understand. But I love Eyes Wide Shut. I watch it all the time. I mean, as I'm saying that, I'm like, oh, but I'm forgetting The Shining and Cloud. It's so, what an interesting factoid is to me is David Lean, right? Everybody says Lawrence of Arabia. You know what his favorite movie of his is? Summertime. And yeah. I love Summertime. And I think that's so cool that he prefers Summertime, which is a much smaller story, right? I mean, if you think about the epic scope of Lawrence of Arabia, you'd think, okay, that would be what he's most proud of, and rightly so. But he says Summertime is a favorite of his movies, and there's something very cool about that.
My thing for Stanley Kubrick, the proper answer is all of them.
I mean that's probably fair.
Yeah, I'm listen. There's no wrong. But Eyes Wide Shut is definitely. I've asked the question a lot. Not everyone gives that one. A lot of people choose others. What is it about that one that keeps you coming back?
It's exactly what you just said. What is it about that keeps you coming back? I don't know. There's something hypnotic about that movie. I don't know what it is, but anytime that's on, I'm just fully in. There's so many scenes I love. Obviously, the major scene where he gets busted at the orgy is so incredible. But even just that weird guy that flirts with Nicole Kidman at the dance, and seeing both of them flirting, and Sidney Pollack, his whole performance, there's so many fascinating things in that movie, and I don't understand. It's one of these things what I do, I understand why people are laughing at a joke, but to make something like that's just so hypnotic, and the movie kind of puts me in a trance. I mean, does it do that for you?
I don't know if it puts me in a trance, but yeah, it does take me to a different place. It doesn't feel like you're in a normal reality. You're in something very heightened.
Yes, I mean, when you think about that apartment, that they have the big fight, Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise. If you men only knew, there's that blue light outside, because it's all shot in a soundstage in London.
Which, by the way, most people don't realize.
Yeah, it's all in London. Street, yeah, no. And I mean, even when Tom Cruise is walking. There's videos on YouTube of Tom Cruise walking on a treadmill with rear projection, the same rear projection used in 2001. And in 2001, he's recreating space or whatever. And he's like, I don't want to go to New York. Let's just make this in London. And it's Tom Cruise walking on a treadmill with rear projection, recreating a street in New York.
Yeah, he didn't travel. He was not, he got more reclusive and more we're just going to keep it all on a stage.
I mean, God, and as we're having this conversation, I'm thinking of Full Metal Jacket. And that was in East London, and he brought in palm trees, and it's incredible. And that movie, God, the first
yes,
chunk of Full Metal Jacket, I'd put that up against anything. That's, again, you're it's a different kind of trance, but if that's on, I'm watching it. Yeah. I'm at least watching it through the end of the whole Gomer Pyle thing. No way I'm turning that off.
The first 30 minutes of that film, or I don't know the exact runtime when they're doing the training and all that, is it's insane.
It's unbelievable.
Do you think as an actor you could have handled working for Kubrick in the way he does all of his takes? Is that something that you're comfortable with, or no?
I've never been put to that test. But it would be incredible. It'd be an incredible challenge. I mean, what I'd understand is that I understand when you hear about Kubrick's obsessiveness. I totally understand that because I'm my own version of that. You know, when I look at everything in Good Fortune, I'm pretty meticulous about, I'll move little things here and there because I understand that desire to be so precise. So I'd hope if I was in that situation, I would really respect it. And obviously, like, he's made the greatest movies, so it's like, yeah, man, I got cast into. I love this hypothetical where I'm in a Kubrick movie where he's like, what about Aziz for that part? That'd be amazing.
Sure. Favorite band or musician?
Oh, favorite band or music? I mean, I can't narrow it down to one. I'm listening to Radiohead again a lot. I used to listen to Radiohead in high school a lot, and I love Radiohead.
OK Computer, Kid A, which is the album The Bends.
Kid A, I really love. Kid A came out when I was a freshman in college, and that was such an interesting time. It was when file sharing had just started, and the rumor is that they leaked the album themselves. And I remember being at NYU, and you would just walk down the dorm hallway, and you would just hear different tracks from Kid A. Every single kid was blasting it in their dorm room, and I spent the night on the street to go get tickets to see them at the Roseland Ballroom, and I went, and I was from South Carolina. That those bands never came to South Carolina. And I remember seeing the concert, and it was incredible.
I've actually never seen Radiohead, and they're going back on tour later this year, or they're playing Wembley.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, for the first.
Wait, Radiohead is?
Yeah, they're playing.
When did that get announced?
They posted a poster or something saying, like, they've sort of leaked it themselves.
Oh,
but
wow.
they're doing, I think, 5 dates at either Wembley or in London.
In November or something.
It's later this year. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Could I finally see them? Because back when I was in LA with radio, not to put myself in this, but the tickets sold out so fast.
Yeah.
And, in LA, everybody has a connection. So, like, it was just impossible to get tickets.
Yeah.
know?
No, they're incredible live. You should definitely go.
What's your coffee order?
Espresso. No sugar.
Ooh, single or double?
Single, because I like drink espresso throughout the day.
Yeah, yes, that is the correct answer.
Yeah.
And this is actually, because you're on tour, this is something that applicable for you. Do you have a favorite city and why?
I like being a nomad. I like going around. And, when you tour, you get to visit all these cities and you make friends everywhere. You have your spots that you like to go to. So it's a joy to travel around. So I Good Fortune is a love letter to LA of sorts. I spent a lot of time in LA. I've spent a lot of time in New York. I spent a lot of time in London. And, but as a touring comedian, you really go around everywhere. And I have an affinity for all these places. At the least, even if it's a city that's not great, so many cities have these beautiful historic theaters, and you get to perform there for these people that are amazing audiences. I enjoy traveling.
Last question for you.
Tell me.
Do you have a favorite movie-going experience, or one that has really stuck with you through your life? Maybe as a kid you saw something that really mesmerized you. I'm just curious if you have one of those.
I've told this story, and for obvious reasons, as you'll see. But when I was a kid, I can't remember how old I was, maybe 12, 13 years old. I was visiting my aunt and uncle in Albany, New York, and they took me to a drive-in movie, and it was a double feature. The first movie was True Lies, and it killed. It was so good. And then it finished, and then there was a second movie, and it was Speed. And I didn't know what Speed was. I thought it was like some sort of drug movie, and I thought it was going to be awkward to be there with my aunt and uncle. And Speed, man, it just ripped. It was so good. And I don't think I've been to a drive-in since then, but drive-ins are so cool. I remember the screen just feeling massive, and like how cool it was to kind of just have the audio and the radio, but the movie was just, it's what you go to the movies for. And I couldn't imagine someone tapping that little Indian boy in that car in Albany and saying, one day you're going to be in a movie with that guy. I still can't believe it as I'm saying it out loud now.
I was going to say that's a great way to end the interview because it's full circle. Like
it is.
Little kid watching Speed, and then all of a sudden you're making a movie with Keanu.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah. Listen, I really want to say congrats. I really, really sincerely hope it's a big hit for you.
Oh, thank
you. And you can make more films. And thank you so much for coming in our studio.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You can look for more interviews on Collider soon. See you.
Bye.